The death penalty has long divided the United States, sparking debates about morality, justice, and government roles. This contentious issue has been a focal point in American society for decades, with passionate arguments on both sides. Some see it as a necessary tool for justice, while others view it as an inhumane practice that has no place in modern society. Recently, high-profile cases and shifting politics have reignited the conversation. These cases often capture national attention, bringing the debate back into the public eye and prompting renewed discussions about the efficacy and morality of capital punishment. At the heart of the debate are the contrasting policies of President Joe Biden and former President Donald Trump. Biden has expressed opposition to the death penalty, advocating for its abolition, while Trump has been a staunch supporter, arguing that it serves as a deterrent to serious crimes. Public opinion polls show a decline in support for capital punishment, especially among younger generations. This shift reflects changing attitudes towards justice and human rights, with many young people advocating for more humane and rehabilitative approaches to crime. Concerns about racial bias, wrongful convictions, and the lack of a deterrent effect have led many to question the death penalty. These issues highlight the potential for irreversible mistakes and the disproportionate impact on marginalized communities. Victims' families often see it as justice, while opponents argue it perpetuates violence and risks executing the innocent. The emotional toll on all parties involved is immense, adding another layer of complexity to the debate. The debate is deeply personal, with profound implications for real lives. It touches on fundamental questions about justice, retribution, and the value of human life, making it one of the most enduring and polarizing issues in American society. President Biden, a longtime opponent of the death penalty, has taken a bold step in his administration's criminal justice reform efforts. He commuted the sentences of 37 federal death row inmates, a move that has sparked widespread debate across the nation. This decision is a key part of his broader agenda to overhaul the criminal justice system, aiming to address long-standing issues of fairness and equity. It marked a significant departure from his predecessor's policies, which had been more supportive of capital punishment. Biden's commutations, which reduced sentences to life without parole, were intended to reflect a more humane approach to justice. These actions were met with both praise and condemnation from various quarters. Human rights organizations hailed it as a significant step forward in the fight against the death penalty, while some victims' families felt it granted undue leniency to those convicted of heinous crimes. Biden's actions aimed to save lives, reduce racial disparities in sentencing, and promote a more humane and rehabilitative justice system. The decision has highlighted the deep divisions and ongoing debates surrounding the issue of capital punishment in America. In contrast, former President Trump was a staunch advocate for the death penalty. His administration resumed federal executions after a nearly two-decade hiatus, sparking controversy. Trump called for expanding federal death penalty laws to include more offenses. His actions were seen as a political move to galvanize his base and appeal to voters concerned about crime. Human rights groups condemned the rush to carry out executions, citing legal challenges and due process concerns. The future of federal executions is uncertain, caught between Biden's commutations and Trump's vows to expand capital punishment. This tug-of-war reflects deeper ideological divides within the country, with each administration's policies significantly impacting the lives of those on death row. The debate is not just about the legality of the death penalty, but also its morality and effectiveness as a deterrent. Legal and political battles will shape its application, with profound implications for those on death row. These battles often involve complex legal arguments and extensive court proceedings, which can take years to resolve. The stakes are incredibly high, as each case can set a precedent that affects future rulings and policies. The Eighth Amendment, prohibiting cruel and unusual punishment, is a significant legal challenge. This amendment is frequently cited in arguments against the death penalty, with opponents highlighting the potential for wrongful executions and the psychological toll on inmates awaiting their fate. Opponents argue the death penalty violates this amendment due to its irreversible nature and disproportionate impact on marginalized communities. They point to numerous studies showing racial and economic biases in sentencing, which undermine the fairness of the justice system. The lengthy appeals process adds to the complexity, creating uncertainty for those on death row. This process, while necessary to ensure justice, often prolongs the suffering of inmates and their families, It also places a significant burden on the legal system, consuming resources that could be used elsewhere. Public opinion is shifting away from support for capital punishment, especially among younger generations, suggesting a future more open to alternative punishments. This shift is influenced by growing awareness of the death penalty's flaws and the availability of more humane and effective alternatives, such as life imprisonment without parole.